that Saham Sabah delivers to you come from realized income, and it doesn't come from capital. And that's a big difference. You can only declare dividend if the fund makes money. It's not a case where they can declare dividend out of capital. That's not allowed at all. And each time when they declare dividend to you as an investor, it means the fund has realized good profits. That's how you get your return. So as you look forward to news of them declaring dividend, you know that the fund has been accumulating profits for you. You are an investor in it. That's the publicity that Saham Sabah paid me to do for them. Now let's now go to the market outlook. Now let me start by telling you, as we do a review of 2013. 2013 has been an interesting market of two halves. At the start of 2013 last year, if you were invested in Asia emerging markets, you've done very well. But come May last year, when US first announced a tapering, just talk about tapering, what happened was the emerging market suffered from a sell down, and the developed markets from Europe, US, and Japan continued to rise in performance. So what we have seen in 2013 is that the developed markets have done well, but the emerging markets, ASEAN, and some of the other Malaysian markets have not done as well. So it's a market of two halves last year. If you were in the developed markets of US, Europe, you've done well. But if you are into ASEAN and Asia, it has been a challenging period. Why is that so? Because when US announced tapering, what it means is there's less US dollar available in the system sometime in the future. And you track over 3 rounds of tapering, over 3 rounds of quantitative easing that the American has undertaken since 2009. Where did the money go to? A lot of the money that was printed in US landed in emerging markets, whether it's in debt or in equity. In Malaysia, do you think the foreigners are very exposed to our fixed income or our equity? I don't know. In Malaysia, the foreigners are very exposed to our fixed income. In the past, before the year 2009, probably only 20% of Malaysian government debts are held by foreigners. Prior to the sell down of the debts at the peak, foreigners own up to 55% of Malaysian government debt. Today, they are still owning 49% of it. So Malaysia has also been a beneficiary of the quantitative easing the American undertakes, because some of this hot money came to Malaysia into the debt space. However, for the entire global space of emerging market, from Latin America to the Middle East, to the emerging Europe, to South Africa, Russia, and Asia, we have been by and large for the last 5 years been benefiting from the excessive printing money that US has undertaken. And that's why when US first announced that this third round that we're going to now reduce our quantitative easing, we have been spending $85 billion every month since the start of quantitative easing 3. It's time to reduce it. Today, they are only printing $65 billion a month. They have reduced it by $20 billion. But by mere mention that we are going to reduce it, we have seen that the markets reacted very violently, very aggressively, because the markets are worried as they reduce the liquidity. All this excess money, all this hot money that has flown to the emerging market, they start to then see a reversal of trend. And the fact is that it did. There was a reversal of trend. And that's why we've seen the performance of markets reflecting. The whole of 2013, the later part of 2013, we've seen that the reversal of trend of money moving out from the emerging markets, some of it back to the developed market. The other point of tapering that I'd like you to take home today is this. Do you think the US will continue to taper. I think they will continue to reduce the quantitative easing. Do you think the US is worried that as they reduce the quantitative easing, it affects the other part of the economy of the world? I think the US just don't care. As far as they are concerned, if the economy is doing well, the rest are not doing well, that's not their problem. More important is US doing well. So I think the US will continue to reduce the quantitative easing. US will continue to reduce the buyback of bonds. Unfortunately, as they do that, the emerging market space will continue to experience volatility every now and then, as we have seen. The very interesting thing about 2014, as we started 2014, is this. Whatever that you expect to go up in 2014 came down in the first 2 months of the year. Whatever you expect it to go up, whatever you expect it to go down, went up and have a complete reverse trend. So the truth of fact is, as we entered 2014, everybody got it wrong. You look at this chart, how many people expect gold to go up? Nobody. But the expectation is that gold price will go to what? 1,000. Today is 1,004. Went down to 1,002 plus. Suddenly it went up. No reason why gold should go up, but suddenly it unwind. Nobody expect the markets like Japan to drop, but the markets in Japan dropped 9%. Last year, the Japan market went up 50%. They expected to continue to rise. Suddenly it drops. Why is such a phenomenal reaction? Why does the market behave so irrationally? When things that are supposed to do well for very solid reasons suddenly just reverse their trend. And this is why I started humbly at the start of this presentation to tell you that I'm as confused as you are. Because I can't read the markets. The markets are just very, very tough to read. What I suspect is this. When the markets ended last year, people have been making money from the positions that they set for themselves. And as they entered into 2014, they realized those bets no longer work. So the guys who have shorted gold for a good part of whole last year making money, suddenly decide that it's time to unwind the shorts. The guy that has long yen, shorted yen, also decided that maybe I should unwind my yen because the bet has gotten on for a long while. The guy that has gone long in Nikkei said maybe I should then reduce my long position in yen, in Nikkei, so that at least I am no longer too exposed to those bets. So what we have seen at the start of 2014 is everybody go back to neutral position. Because whatever they think will happen in their mind, exactly it did not happen at the start of 2014. So that's one of the very interesting start to 2014. Is that completely different things happen that surprises the market. We did not see consensus bets completely play out at all into 2014. However, one thing I'd like to tell you as we enter 2014 that has not changed is this. This is the first time for many years. If you today walk out from this door, you must remember this. This is the first time in many years we are seeing three major economies recovering at the same time. Never have we in many years, for many years, seen US, Europe, Japan seeing a growth or seeing a recovery. It's always one recover, the other one drag down the cycle. Japan has been 20 years dragging down the cycle. Never got it right for 20 years. But this is the first time in many years that we are seeing three major economies from Japan, Europe, to US. You add three up together, they form a significant bulk of the world economy, coming round, turning round, and recovering. However, we do note that the recovery is slow, that the recovery, there are risks to the recovery. However, the sign still points towards that there is global recovery. And we have a period of global recovery. What asset class tend to do very well? Typically, equity as an asset class tend to do very well because it follows growth to the cycle. The downside to that argument is that the equities have done well in the previous period. The markets have discounted the fair bit of this recovery, and if the recovery does falter in any way, you'll find that volatility will come back to the market. However, I still believe when interest rates are so low, what do people do with their money? What choices does people in the world has with their money? There are not much. If you don't go into the fixed income market, the bond market, you look at fixed property market, looks frosty. You look at commodity cycle, looks a little bit difficult. Where else do you put your asset class? Where else do you put money? The sense is that money flows are moving back to equities. And that's what we are seeing. And partly it's anchored in a recovery that we're seeing on a global basis. Let me move you quickly to another topic that has been very much talked about, China. There's always a spin behind China. If you actually look at economies, in terms of their magazine, people expect China to someday collapse the economy. People do not believe Chinese economy can continue to sustain after so many years of expansion. And there is no doubt in my mind that Chinese economy has risks by itself. It has been growing so rapidly for so many years, and there's always risk that at some point the economy can collapse. The fact remains, if you look at what happened the last 6-9 months, it gives us a lot of comfort to invest in China. When you have a change of leadership in November last year, I do not mean to say bad about politicians, because I have one Dato chairman who is a politician here today.